Hey y'all, we are looking at thin skin currently. What we're looking at in this series, in this video, are different receptor types. Receptors are typically either their own cells, so they're special receptor cells, or they are the ends of neurons, so they're specialized nerve endings. So we're only going to take a look at a few. Right now we're in thin skin. You can see the epidermis. There's stratum corneum, and then we get to stratum basale here. If you recall that we have one receptor in stratum basale, it's called a Merkel cell. I'm pointing at one potential Merkel cell right now. It's got a little white halo around it. There we go. It could actually be melanocyte. Melanocytes and Merkel cells look really similar with this staining. So let's just say this might be a Merkel cell, possibly a melanocyte. If it is a Merkel cell, what this does is helps detect very light touch, light flutter. And since it's a special receptor cell, this is actually neuroepithelium. This cell communicates with a nerve ending in the dermis, which you can't see, it's not stained for, and that nerve ending then goes to the spinal cord and communicates up to the brain. So what the pointer's pointing at, we're at 400x right now, that is a Merkel cell. Just deep to stratum basale in the dermal papillae, in the dermal papillae, we can find a different receptor called a Meissner's corpuscle. So we are also looking at skin here, but we're staining for and looking for a different receptor. So you can see stratum corneum up here. We're at 100x total right now. Here's stratum basale, where the arrow is. And you can see the dermal papillae going up and down, going to 400x. We're going to move along, excuse the shaking, we're going to move along the dermal papillae to find something within those papillae that looks kind of roundish, ovalish. We're looking for the Meissners or tactile corpuscle. This is a really good example right here. There we go. Where I'm pointing, this is a Meissner's corpuscle. It's connective tissue covering up dendrites of a sensory neuron. So what we're looking at here in the dermal papillae, it's connective tissue wrapped around dendrites of a sensory neuron. Meissner's corpuscles are also for light touch, light vibration, and that makes sense because like the Merkel cell, is superficial. It's one of the more superficial receptors that you find in the skin. One more from the skin, one more receptor is the Pacinian corpuscle. Pacinian corpuscle is found deeper. It's found either in the reticular layer of the dermis or even the hypodermis. It's very, very deep. So here I'm at 40x. 100x is plenty, but you know what? I'll try for 400x. Yeah, we're actually too close here. You can see this very concentric circle covering of a nerve ending. Like Meissner's corpuscle, going back to 100, like Meissner's corpuscle, this is a bunch of connective tissue wrapped around dendrites, what this arrow is pointing at right here. But the Pacinian corpuscle, also called lamellated corpuscle, because lamellated means concentric circles wrapping around something. This is for deeper pressure. Because this is deeper in the skin, it's in the reticular layer and the hypodermis. This is for deeper pressure. So, and this is also reflected by how many wrappings it has around it to protect the dendrites of the neuron. So this is great for detecting deep pressure. One more receptor that I want to go over here. This is not in the skin. This is actually in muscle. It's called a muscle spindle. So right now what we're looking at is a longitudinal cut of skeletal muscle, and you can see the staining for a neuron with its nerve endings. So this is really the end of a neuron. You can see the long branch and all these axon terminals that are in these dark circles. Those are the axon terminals, so these are neuromuscular junctions. We're looking at a motor unit. But what we can also see in this view is a muscle spindle. Where is it? Well, most of the things you see, the pink ones that go left and right, those are longitudinal cuts of muscle fibers. Another term for these muscle fibers, the ones that do the normal contraction, that move our bones around, another term for them is extrafusal. These are extrafusal skeletal muscle fibers. But sometimes if you go deeper in, you'll find intrafusal muscle fibers. So where I'm pointing right now is a smaller, narrower, and has branches because it has a nervous branch. This is an intrafusal muscle fiber, part of the muscle spindle, going to 400x now. Excuse the shaking again. There we go. So it's thinner, and it has branches that look like it's part of the axon, but this is actually sensory. So it starts here, we sense something, and then that gets transmitted up this bundle of axons and bundle of axons up to the spinal cord. Muscle spindles, this thing here, muscle spindles detect stretch, the state of how stretched out the skeletal muscle is. That allows us to maintain muscle tone. That helps us with reflexes like the stretch reflex where you catch something, or the, actually that's a different reflex. Yeah, the stretch reflex where you catch something, that's mediated by this muscle spindle. It allows you to maintain muscle tone in different situations. So muscle spindle, found in muscles, and then in skin, in sternum basale, we've talked about Merkel cell, which is its own cell. It's a neuroepithelium. Meissner's corpuscles and Pacinian corpuscles, which are found in the dermis. Those are endings of neurons. So what Meissner's corpuscles, Pacinian corpuscles, and muscle spindles all have in common, they're just the endings of neurons with special connective tissue covering them, while the Merkel cell is its own cell, which then communicates with the neuron. Hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions.